if I do end up leaving this video up, then this is Kevin from Kevin Abroad. I didn't know how to do a live stream, so we got together and
I gave you a masterclass.
He's showing me how to do live streams on my channel.
Yes. So hopefully the sound is good. I think it sounded okay when I just looked at it.
Yeah, the other guy on your channel was able to hear us.
Someone on my channel, I guess I missed it. Oh yeah, Yellow Paper always comes on my channel sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Shame. Well, it was a short one anyway.
Right. So. Well, I mean, if he watches the whole thing, then he should know to come here.
Yeah, hopefully they will follow us.
The spectator.
The thing about live streams is that people, either they watch it live or they don't watch it. I know they watch live stream for 3 hours when there's an interaction. It's a bit
right, exactly, yeah.
Because the point is to kind of this interaction.
All right, we're moving up in the world, yeah.
So
if you guys missed it, this is Kevin from Kevin Abroad, and I've never done a live stream before, and I didn't really know how to do it, so he's showing me how to do it.
It's actually easy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. I've seen other YouTubers do this before, but I don't know. I never had the ambition to try it myself. So.
And the good thing I can show you for later is I see you can invite people, so you can use that.
Yeah.
You send me a link, like on Facebook, and then I click on it, and then you can invite me to the conversation.
Cool.
And then it means that when we speak, it'll move to the person who's speaking. So if you want to do the guest the accent thing again,
yeah,
we could do that.
That'd be fun.
We'll see how that works.
So anyways, if you guys have questions or if you want to bring anything up, I guess you can type it here and we'll see it.
Yeah,
I know this is probably like totally normal to most people, but I'm still left in the 20th century. So
let's give the spectator like live stream class. So you watch the video, you enjoy it, you like it. If you like it, you subscribe, of course. You come to my channel if you want to know more, and then you can leave some comments in there.
Yeah, you leave us comments, and then we answer your comments.
That's how it works.
On the video.
People.
All right.
Yeah, that was a better idea to come on the channel.
Right. We did a live stream on his channel earlier, but I guess because so early in the morning, there wasn't a whole lot of people.
Yeah. So if you ask people on there, where are they from then? Probably not American.
Yeah. Where are you guys? If you're watching this, where are you from? Because presumably you're not American.
Yeah.
It's kind of early in the morning over there right now.
Maybe Europe, somewhere in Europe.
Europeans are probably
Asia.
More.
If it's like Asia.
Yeah, and then it'd be like in the evening over there. Australia, maybe. Actually, in Australia, it's probably night. They're probably asleep too.
I probably know. Come on, guys, we're desperate for people. We just got so desperate and cringe. Please talk to us, interact with us. We're bored and lonely.
I don't do live streams to talk to myself.
Yeah, exactly. But this is we here, so it's fine. We can meubler la conversation.
Yeah, meubler la conversation.
It's a good phrase, isn't it? That's what we do, It's 4 people. That's quite a lot already to start with.
Yeah, I've never done it before, so I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Don't be too harsh on him.
Yeah, it's my first time. So, I'm getting ready to go back to the United States. Actually, just in a few hours here. So I had a great time in Paris. Oh, there we go.
He's back.
Yes. All right, we got Matthew from Quebec, who was watching our last live stream on Kevin's channel.
Hello again, Matthew.
Watching now. Participants list only has me and you.
I can see the participants list. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Strange.
Butro.
We got one from Chile. Oh, it's really early in the morning there, isn't it?
Living in Germany.
Oh, living in Germany. Gotcha. I should have read the whole thing first. My question, is it possible to reach C1 level from B1 in a language like German in 1 year?
What do you think?
Well, we just did a video talking about this, actually. And it doesn't, I don't think, okay, so you're from Chile. Okay, so your native language is Spanish, okay? You're learning German. Now, these are both Indo-European languages, so they're not as different as they could be. I'm presuming your native language is Spanish if you're from Chile. Mm-hmm. So both Indo-European languages, they're not as different as they could be, but German is Germanic and Spanish is Latin, so they're more different than they could be too. They're not as similar as they could be. That is going to be what determines how difficult the language is for you, I think. Now, if you're learning Chinese, oh, excellent, 7 spectator.
Yes.
If you're learning Chinese, that's going to be much more difficult. And Now I can't really speak about German because I don't speak German.
I'll keep it up.
But I think that it would probably be among the easier languages for you to learn, like in the grand scheme of things. And so C1 from B1 in a year, yeah, that doesn't sound unreasonable, especially if you live in Germany and you're using it every day. That sounds fine.
It's all about how much time you spend on actually learning the language, right? If you just, because some people go in the country and they just hang out with people that speak their native language.
Yeah, exactly.
So to do that, no, I would say not in a year.
Right. I would say for sure it's possible.
Yeah.
But that depends on you. It depends on your technique. It depends on what you do.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I lived in El Salvador, I had my roommates were Spanish speaking. We went to Spanish movies together. We would go to Spanish speaking church services together. We would do everything in Spanish, and so that's how I learned Spanish. But it's also possible to live in a foreign country and just hang out with your English speaking friends, or people that speak your native language, and that's not going to be as effective, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's possible. Yeah, it's as you said, like it's all about how much time you actually spend on practicing.
Right.
Yeah, that's the answer, really. So, hey, guys, what are you up to? I'm home in Paris, and he's visiting me. Well, not me specifically. He was just in Paris, and we just thought about meeting up and doing that.
Yeah, it just happened that like the last day that I was in Paris, he just arrived. Yeah. So it was like just barely a little bit of overlap.
If I came a day later, it would have not worked.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. here. Where are you, Zach C? Whereabouts in the world? Okay, this is German. Do you speak German?
I don't speak any German.
I have no idea what he's saying.
I think he's commenting to the other person that I was asking about.
So ich bin, I think it's I am or something like ich bin your name.
I believe so, yeah.
I have no idea about German. That's all I know.
And ein, I think that's
it's like an article.
It's an article, yeah, like an indefinite article, right?
Ambition,
better. Do is that you? Like the second person?
And also, it's probably not also like in English. It's like false friend.
I'm thinking of, there's a German song called Du hast mich or something like that.
Oh, okay.
If you guys know this song, ein means a. Yeah, see, it's an indefinite article.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, we've got some skills,
Right.
We could learn German.
We have some deductive skills, even if I've never studied. Yeah, do this means you are. Yeah.
Ah.
So you're a little better than me.
I'm around 18.
Yeah. So
you guys should get in touch,
Right, yeah. See, this is what my channel is all about, meeting other people that, you can practice with. And I want it to be a community where you can meet each other and talk.
It could be like a nice challenge video of like trying to understand a language.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
We could be able to not understand anything.
Right. I mean, I do find that I'm able to glean a lot of stuff when I see German tech. When you read instruction manuals or something and there's 17 different languages, I can glean some stuff from the German.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Portuguese, I can actually, I've never studied Portuguese before. I studied for like 2 weeks about a month ago. But I can glean a lot. I can almost read really well Portuguese.
I can understand a lot of Spanish just because of Portuguese. Like, what's so similar?
So Zach asks, y'all in Paris then? And yes, we are in Paris. He just arrived in Paris, and this is my last day. I'm going back to the United States.
Yeah. Just to give some context, I am from Paris, but I live in England. That's why.
Yeah, he lives in England, but he came back again. So where is everyone from?
Yeah.
We know Matthew is in Canada, and Botro is in Germany.
Well, Chile. Oh no, in Germany.
No, from Chile, in Germany. But
I'm all caught up.
I'm kind of surprised that everyone is awake because I think most of my spectators. Gosh, I'm saying spectators now. It's a false friend.
It's like a show.
Most of my subscribers, are from the United States. I rarely comment on videos, but I like to participate in live streams. Yeah, I appreciate it.
For that, yeah.
It makes it a lot easier to talk when you have someone to talk to.
Yeah, definitely. What's good when you have a small channel is like you can actually answer all messages, but when you have like thousands of people watching live stream, it's no way.
Right. So Zaxi is born in Texas but lives in Olympia, Washington, which is like 5 in the morning there, right?
Wow.
Am I wrong?
What are you guys doing awake? I was sleeping at
4 in the morning, right? It's 4 in the morning in Washington.
Well, you're the America specialist, USA specialist.
Or 3 in the wait, is it 3 in the morning? That's
I think he said 3 a.m.
because Wisconsin is 7 hours away, which would mean it's 5 in the morning, and then Washington is 2 hours past Wisconsin.
Yeah, yikes.
Wow.
Don't ask.
Yeah, it is 3 in the morning. He says.
Maybe some kind of insomnia. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you have, if you had anything to do at 3 in the morning, to watch my live stream is not a bad way to go about passing the hours.
Well, I hope we managed to help you get to sleep again.
Yes, I'll talk very quietly.
But maybe we'll sing a song to you.
Yes.
We'll sing a French song to you.
Yeah. Je fais du piano debout.
C'est peut-être un détail pour vous.
Mais pour moi, ça veut dire beaucoup. Sorry, we're just goofing off.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've never done this live stream before, but it's
ASMR. I know that word.
ASMR language learning. Oh,
what's ASMR?
Okay. That's where you talk like really quietly, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. It's like really soothing and kind of hypnotic or something. I've heard of this before.
Yeah, I've come across that word.
Unless I'm thinking of something completely different.
What's ASMR?
And that's interesting because I'm actually thinking I'm gonna do a video on this soon. Not specifically on ASMR, but I was thinking of doing a video on like guided meditations in foreign languages, which is something that I actually listen to quite a bit.
So the videos when they teach you French, like it's kind of like hypnotic and trippy.
No, so okay, no. I have to qualify this. So there are some videos where it's like learn French in your sleep, right?
Yeah.
And you go to bed.
Weird. I don't think that works.
No, I agree. It doesn't work. I'm not.
It's bullshit.
I'm not advocating those where you like go asleep and you hear someone else speak French and you automatically learn French.
Scary if anything. Like
right.
La chaise est sur la table.
Right. That's weird. I think that's useless and a waste of. Well, it's not a waste of time because you're sleeping, but it's a waste of the battery life when you're
Yeah.
But I use guided meditations a lot, which are not designed to teach you languages. What they're designed to do is just like someone that they make a YouTube video and they say, all right, now we're going to relax, just, taking a deep breath. And then they kind of guide you through going through some mindfulness or meditation or something. And it's just relaxing. It's not like hypnosis or anything. It's just someone speaking quietly and calmly, and it helps you fall asleep. And they design them for people that are like native speakers of French or native speakers of whatever language it is. But because they speak so quietly and so calmly, it's easy to understand. And and so I listen to that a lot.
And that's not stupid actually. It reminds me of, I think, Crushing again.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about like how if you're kind of relaxed, you can take in, like knowledge more easily than if you're stressed. And that's not dumb actually.
Yeah, and it also goes back to the comprehensible input too, right?
Yeah.
Like because they speak slowly and calmly, it's easier to understand. Okay, so ASMR means autonomous sensory meridian response.
I can't remember what that is. I'm sure I came across.
Yeah, that's a lot of big words.
Yeah.
He says it's not hypnotic. I don't really know how to explain. It's basically a sensation you feel on the scalp, like a shiver. Some people get this feeling from specific sounds or situations. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like. Actually, I think I read about this on Wikipedia one time, and they have different like sound recordings and stuff, and some people do it on YouTube. Is that part of the thing from the movie Get Out, where she like rubs the spoon around the teacup and it makes that little sound? Am I thinking of that right? Or
you need to be on the right like note or whatever, like
right.
Yeah.
It like so for whatever reason that sound sensation like causes you to
like the glass to go or something.
Right. There's something weird to your. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lag in the video, so whenever you guys hear us say this, then you'll answer that question.
That certainly seems like we're taking ages to answer, like 10 minutes. Like,
yeah.
Use it like every day, not very useful. What's that come from?
I use it like every day.
Did we talk about Wikipedia?
Because I said I read about ASMR on Wikipedia.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Wikipedia is cool sometimes. I mean,
yeah.
I think whenever I did research, I would always go to Wikipedia to kind of have like an awareness or like general knowledge of something, whatever I was looking into. But then obviously to research elsewhere.
Right.
But it's good Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is quite accurate.
Just more quoted, I guess, but it's very good for source of knowledge.
I mean, don't use it in like scholarly papers.
Yeah. I've read like she probably will never watch that, but she said like at uni, I was doing a BA in English with her, and then the teacher was like, "Oh, never use Wikipedia." And my friend was like, "Yeah, why not? Like Wikipedia never betrayed me." I love that. That was so funny. And the guy said, "What's your name? I want to quote you."
Right.
Amazing teacher.
So, anyways, yeah, if you're able to find, so I don't know anything or enough about ASMR, but some of it is speaking, right? It's not just like sounds that are. It's not just like non-human sounds, right? Sometimes people speak. I don't even know what I'm saying.
Sorry, I just need to answer that text.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
sometimes people they speak in a certain way, and that causes the sensations or whatever. So if you can find that in a foreign language, then I would say by all means go ahead and use that to practice your languages.
Sorry,
all right, we got more. We got more text in German.
Okay, how much of that?
Which is
Dutch?
totally
Is
fine.
it German, I guess.
Yeah, well, we have ich, which is, I think we already established it means I.
Yeah.
So I can read the first word.
Where's the cap letter in this Dutch and not this
In
one?
German, I believe all nouns,
yeah.
nouns are capitalized, right?
Maybe it's an adjective.
Are adjectives capitalized as well?
This
Okay, yeah. And ich again, stop. I'm gonna assume that's stop.
They're just trying to troll us right now, aren't they? What was
okay, hold on.
French
you
then?
say something about it's also situations when I first got ASMR in kindergarten watching someone make a gingerbread house. Interesting.
Okay, I need to call my mom. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Sorry, you're on your own for a bit.
Yeah, all right. Kevin's abandoning us. Speaking triggers can be inaudible. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's something interesting to look into, but I've never used it or never really experienced it. I don't know. Maybe I've experienced it without knowing, but I definitely think it would be something useful for language learning. As Zach says, I used to get ASMR when my mom would run her fingers through my hair. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, I don't know enough about it to really comment on that, but let me scroll up here. Look at some of these other comments. If you have any other questions or anything, then I guess I'll go through and answer some of these. I think I missed some while we were talking. Let's see. From Chile. We already talked about that. We got some more German comments. Let's see. We talked about going from B1 to C1. We're in Paris. Yeah. Okay, so why are you in Paris? Yeah, so I spent basically the whole summer in Europe so far. I did 1 month in Spain, walking. Hello again.
What did you miss?
Not a whole lot. Well, he says, why are you in Paris? So I did the Camino de Santiago last month in Spain.
I saw that video, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. And this month I'm in Paris with my university because there's a professor from my university who came to Paris, and I've actually been taking French classes here in Paris. So it was really nice how it worked out. I wouldn't have been able to afford coming and spending a month in Paris otherwise.
Paris is expensive.
Yeah, it's so expensive. I literally, I travel so much, people think I am made of money because you need money to travel.
Yeah.
But it's the exact opposite. I don't have a job well, I stopped working over the summer. I normally give English lessons and guitar lessons and stuff.
I play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a musician. Amazing.
Yeah. And so I don't have, I'm not making any money this summer. So basically all the money that I have for my trips through Paris and Spain is just what I was able to save beforehand. And so I've been eating rice and spaghetti basically every night.
Oh, that's
because Paris is so expensive.
The food is expensive.
Yeah, it really is. All right, what are you doing in school? I'm a linguistics major. So I'm majoring in applied linguistics, and I'm minoring in Spanish, French, and teaching English as a second language.
I wish I could have done languages when I did my MA.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to do that. Oh,
yeah, you got an MA in linguistics, right?
Well, I've got my MA in linguistics, but there wasn't the option to do another language. I
Oh.
wish I could.
Well, so to be clear, I'm not getting a linguistics degree in any certain language. It's
a general,
it's linguistics, right? The study of language, the study of linguistics is completely separate from any language. You don't get a linguistics degree in Spanish or a linguistics in French, right? I'm doing those separately.
I guess you're taught in English though.
Yes.
But that's it. You can't study any language, right? It just gives you the skills.
So the linguistics classes are taught in English, but that's the only connection it has with English, that it's just taught in those languages. It's the language of instruction. So I'm also minoring in French and Spanish, but that's completely unrelated to my linguistics degree. People don't understand this. They don't understand what linguistics is. So just in the same sense that I could be like a biology major or a political science major and also minor in French, that's what I'm doing. I'm just minoring in French and Spanish because I want to.
Yeah. Same, like I know, like some of my students, they did a research project on Arabic. So it was in English, of course, because the tutors are English, right? But yeah, you can study any language. Like there's no limitation. Some people will study African languages or undocumented languages, like lots of stuff like that. It's fascinating.
And Ruben says, allez parler un peu de français, but.
Mais c'est dur parce que je sais jamais quoi dire.
Et je crois que mes spectateurs, ils ne parlent pas français.
L'anglais, c'est la langue commune, c'est plus facile.
Ouais, alors, on a parlé un peu de français, and that's it.
Maybe let's keep it in English.
Yes.
Also, by the way, I had a phone call with my mom, and she says that I need to go in half an hour, but you're happy to join us for lunch if you want to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually have to get going to the airport soon.
So just let me know.
Yeah. So about half an hour, you said?
Yeah.
All right, I'll stay.
Is that good for you?
Yeah,
you can join. We're gonna go to a cafe, have a salad. So you're gonna have to eat pasta every day.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Tu essaies de t'en sortir. Do I try to?
Are you trying to get by? I guess. S'en sortir.
S'en sortir. Ouais. Bien sûr. I guess I don't understand the.
Yeah, in terms of what? In terms of language or Paris or like eating spaghetti? I'm not sure. Sois plus précis.
I don't get out much.
Mais t'as dit que toi.
T'as dit que. Wait. The problem is.
Harsh with you. Wow.
I know. I'm getting all this hate. The problem is, I want to keep my channel in languages that everyone understands, right?
The lingua
franca. So occasionally I do videos in Spanish or in French or in Esperanto, but I do subtitles on those as well, right? I actually have an entire channel that's just dedicated to Esperanto.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh. And I don't speak any English on the channel whatsoever. But
so actually fluent in Esperanto?
I'm not. Well, it goes back to like what is fluent, right? I'm definitely not what most people would call fluent. Like maybe Benny Lewis would call me fluent.
Yeah, in 6 months.
Right, in 3 months.
Well, 3, yeah, my bad.
Right, so he has a very loose definition of fluent. But no, like by the generally accepted definition of fluent, I am not fluent in Esperanto. But that doesn't stop me from having an entire YouTube channel that's entirely in Esperanto.
I mean, you can definitely do videos even if you're not like a native speaker, whatever that means, right?
Right, and I'm not even close to a native speaker. This is a channel of me basically fumbling around the language, trying to communicate my point with a very broken Esperanto. But that's the point of it, right? Like I'm not afraid to make mistakes and make myself look foolish, and so that's what I do. But the Esperanto community is very accepting and very helpful.
That's amazing. Yeah. I wish I had the courage to do that in Portuguese, but like I'm a native speaker of Portuguese, but because I've never actually lived in Portugal, so like any native speaker would be like, you sound native, but you haven't lived in the country ever, and I know that like, you can pick it up. So, but I make mistakes and stuff, so that's why I haven't done a video in Portuguese yet. But I need to do one just for the challenge, or
right. You know,
that's how it is, language.
Yeah, and like I think a big part of it is just accepting. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna screw up all the time, but I'm still gonna make the effort.
Exactly.
And
the mistakes are okay.
That's how you improve.
We need to promote that in our channels, you know.
Yeah.
Alors, non, il ne veut pas parler en français, alors il essaye d'échapper à son sort. You get that one.
He says no. He doesn't. He doesn't want to speak in French, so he's going to try to escape it.
Sort is like a spell. But that's like a phrase to say like escape his destiny or is like his I don't know, it's kind of how like it's, how do you say that in English? I don't even know. Échapper à son sort is like escape a situation basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So
everyone speaks French. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Really, you know, the Chilean and German speaks French, and of course the Canadian speaks French. So yeah, if you want to see me speaking French, I have videos of myself speaking French.
Yeah.
I have several of them on the channel, so I'm not afraid of speaking French.
I was impressed because you wrote a comment on my video and it was like perfect French. I could not even correct anything. I was like, wow,
nice.
Damn.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. Yeah, and I think sometimes it's easy to trick people when you're rating because you can stop and like think about what you're gonna say, right? I think I was translated as
I guess so, yeah. In this case, maybe that might be a little too deep, though. It's got a strong context to use that phrase, but yeah. Just teasing on them.
I know you're just kidding.
You bullies.
I want to go back to this again because I'm actually learning right now. Oh yeah, I'll let you do this.
Which one?
So which one were we talking about? Échapper à son sort. Okay, so the phrase d'échapper à son sort.
S'échapper à son sort. No, échapper, échapper à son sort. No, S.
Il essaie d'échapper à son sort. It means I'm trying to escape my fate.
Usually it's the fate. It's quite you would see that in like literature, like in plays or whatever. It's like quite a it's not used commonly, if you will.
Okay.
Like in that case, you use it as a jokey way, like exaggeration. But échapper à son sort is like escape his destiny, like what was meant to happen.
I'm gonna look it up here.
You know, like in Romeo and Juliet, there'll be a good context to échapper à son sort.
Oh.
Like, le sort de sa famille, for example.
Yeah. I'm looking it up in word reference to get every.
Yeah, go for it.
Every nuance,
especially if you're reading like more, classical stuff.
Right, not English.
So live streams can teach you languages.
Yes.
Every now and then, like people teach me about Japanese. It's fascinating.
Because it also means to leave, right? Or he leaves.
Yeah, it's from the verb sortir. Yeah. So il sort, he's leaving.
Right.
The sort is the noun in that case. So that's the difference.
My Wi-Fi is not working, so I guess.
Oops.
Oh yeah.
You can have the chat later on, so you can have a look at the video later.
Yeah.
You'll be in there forever.
Right. So it's been a good month. I think I've definitely learned a lot of French.
How do you feel your level in French is now compared to when you arrived?
It's so it's hard to. I guess I probably should make another video of my French after. But the problem is like if you start learning a language and then a month later you make a video, then you're gonna see a lot of progress. I feel like my level of French at the beginning of this month, not that I was by any means, really fluent or really good, but I was at least at the level where 1 month of progress, you're not going to see a ton of progress in there. So if I make another video of me speaking French right now, it probably won't be like dramatically different. But I for sure have learned. For sure have improved.
I found your videos like you manage when you were looking for a word, you still managed to express your opinions, which is really good. And a lot of people can't do that, and like it's a good skill,
Right, that's a big skill to have because the most important skill is not knowing every word in the language. It's much more useful. Well, I guess I take that back. If you did know every word in the language, that would be useful, right? But it's not practical. So it's much more useful to spend your time learning how to get around saying words that you don't know.
Yeah, even me in English after 5 years in the UK, there still wasn't like, I don't even know how to say this word, but I'll rephrase it.
So we have don't tread on me, say welcome from hungry folks.
Don't tread on me. What's tread again? I can't remember. What does that mean?
So like step on? Yeah, don't tread on me is a comment.
Don't tread on me.
It's from like the Revolutionary War.
Right.
What should one do if stuck with learning English at a certain level?
Or the glass ceiling effect.
Right. Yeah.
It depends what level. I mean, maybe I can give my peace of mind about it, but it depends. If you have a high level, like I consider for me to have a high level, maybe C2, because I've worked in England, I've done uni in English, so so I do think we reach a level, but it depends. If it's a high level, I think you just have to accept that you will not always really get better.
Yeah, you're not going to get perfect. Yeah. If you get to 99%, then
it's harder to get close to 100. So you can still learn words every day, but I don't think you can get perfect.
I think no, you can't get to that 100% if you start learning as an adult. It's different if you start learning as a child.
Even then, some people are not 100% in the language,
right?
According to standard language, right?
Sure. If you get stuck at a lower level, which I'm assuming what he's talking about is like, I can't get past B2 or something.
Yeah.
I would recommend changing up your technique, experiment with different techniques, right? A lot of the videos that I make on this channel are me trying different techniques that I haven't tried before, right? And sometimes I fail. Sometimes I try a new strategy for learning the language, and then I realize that didn't work for me, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But at least I tried. And sometimes I try new programs, new apps, new strategies, and I find that it really is helpful. So,
and based on like his English, like the sentence is spot on. Like there's nothing I would correct in that. But sometimes we just think we're not improving. But I always think that even if you learn one word, you're improving your language, or one piece of grammar context. Yeah. So sometimes people just kind of underestimate the progress they're making, I think. I don't know if that's what's going on, obviously. But.
And also, before we get too deep into this, I want to ask, don't tread on me, since you say welcome from Hungary. I assume you are Hungarian. Do you know what? Can you translate the name of my channel into English from Hungarian? I'm curious. Because it's a Hungarian word.
Ah, interesting. Fair enough.
Yes.
A little challenge for you.
Yes. Presumably, I say this presuming that you are Hungarian.
It's true, like some people, like they're from Chile, like earlier, and then they're in Germany.
Right. And there's a long lag here in this video, so we're probably going to be waiting for a while for the answer.
We still got a bit of messages. That's good. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Maybe if you did in the more like a US friendly time, maybe you get more people probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess granted now on the East Coast at least, it's almost 7 o'clock. Yeah. So. Some people are getting up and getting ready to go to work. Other people,
holiday, like me or you as well.
Sure.
Earlier someone asked you what you did in school, French. I just realized that. Earlier, who was that?
Yeah, I remember them talking about what I do. I mean, so I'm studying.
Zach, what are you doing in school? I guess with French, I think that.
Right. Yeah. So I'm majoring in linguistics, which is the study of language. And we're getting some like classical music.
I think fourth floor, there's like a guy who plays the piano. He's really good.
Yeah, it sounds really good.
He told me like singing when I was like 10 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, the study of linguistics. Okay.
Jelvik, the comedy there.
We think them. But okay, so I'm assuming Jelvik is
languages.
It's Hungarian for languages, right? But the word finctem, I don't know how to say that in Hungarian. I say the English accent version of this. The word finctem, I learned this word when I was in Hungary.
Ah. What does that mean then? Can you tell us already?
I'm gonna wait to see if.
Let's wait.
Yeah. And if we don't get a response, then I'll tell them. I actually made a video on this a long time ago.
Oh, well, you just watched that.
Yeah. It was like one of the first videos on my channel.
This is the first video, therefore it's the cringiest on the channel. My first videos are so
yeah. So the first videos on my channel were pretty
interesting.
Yeah, it's not my name, actually.
I thought your name was Finn for a long time, because Finkton.
Yeah, a lot of people actually...
Finn is a cool name, why not?
Yeah. So, anyways, what were we talking about? Linguistics.
School, yeah.
So, a lot of people think linguistics is just learning a language or studying a language. That's not it. You're studying basically like properties that are common to all human language. You're studying, a lot of the principles that go into the study of language in general. So when I say I'm studying linguistics and I'm studying Spanish, it doesn't mean I'm studying Spanish. I am studying Spanish, but it means these are two separate things, right? You can study linguistics by itself without studying any language. And you can study Spanish itself without studying linguistics.
That's such a big misconception. A lot of like, even YouTubers like, I'm a linguist, and you're like, they have never done any linguistics ever, but they speak whatever number of languages. I'm like, no, that's not what linguistics is. Like, you can just speak one language and be a linguist. You can speak 10 languages and not be a linguist.
Right. So a lot of people confuse polyglot and linguist.
Yeah.
These are not synonymous words.
It's misused a lot, linguistics.
In fact, it's a really common misconception in the linguistics community. Like, if you ever have a linguistics professor, ask them, whenever I say I am a linguist, the first question I get asked back is, how many languages do you speak?
Yeah.
Right? Every linguist knows this phenomenon because it's such a common misconception. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of linguists only speak one language.
Yeah. And to me, like a linguist, I simplify it, is just basically someone that studied linguistics, so at least has a degree in linguistics. But if you don't, I don't consider that person to be a linguist.
Right.
But, yeah. It doesn't mean like you're not good if you're not a linguist and you know languages, but it's just different things really. It's just
right. Yeah, I don't know if there's a definition of like you have to have a degree or you have to have a PhD or something. I don't know. Maybe.
You have to have studied, I think, or
right.
wrote about linguistics, I guess. Make someone
I don't know. I don't know what the definition is. I know that's what I'm currently studying.
Yeah. Wait, I just realized what you mean. Think time means I thought.
Yes.
I thought in languages.
So finktam, it means I farted in Hungarian.
That is so random. I thought in languages.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So when I was in Hungary like 10 years ago, that was the first word that I learned. And I just went around the whole country of Hungary saying finktam. I farted, and I got a T-shirt made. So I have a T-shirt that I was walking around Hungary with a T-shirt saying I farted.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was.
Did you have a lot of friends doing that?
A lot of people thought it was funny. The friends that I was with, hanging out with, didn't really want to be seen with me.
You should have a T-shirt like we were shared in Hungarian. I don't speak Hungarian, but I thought it.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
the only Hungarian word I know. Actually, while I was there, I did. I learned a very small amount of Hungarian. Not even an A1 level, but just
The Hungarian is notoriously known to be very difficult because of the endings or something like that.
Yeah,
I think.
And also it goes back to what we were saying earlier about how close is it to your native language?
Yeah.
Because Hungarian is not an Indo-European language, it's so different from English.
Different logic.
That it's really difficult for us English speakers to learn. Now, if you're a native speaker of Finnish or Estonian, then presumably Hungarian is not going to be that difficult of a language. Yeah. I'm sure it's probably still difficult, but less so comparatively, in relation to English.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's Jeremy.
Link. Hey, bros.
He's a friend of mine. So basically, Jeremy and I, we did like a collab a while ago. So we did, I don't know if you saw that on the channel. We did like a émissions, like a program with like an hour and a half, so long. Nice. And then, yeah, we did it together. So it's French.
Salut.
It's vice versa.
Cool.
Sorry, I missed that. Vice versa? What's that?
It's vice versa. I think he's talking about the difficulty of like, because when he.
When
we're talking about like
languages,
right? Which languages are similar? Yeah. So learning English for Hungarian speaker is going to be very difficult. Whereas presumably, I don't speak Hungarian or Finnish, but presumably, it's going to be easier for a Hungarian speaker to learn Finnish than it would be for him to learn.
It's a good question, actually. I always wonder, like, we see my patio in Paris, Jeremy. So kind of a garden. Yeah. But I always wonder, like, for example, let's choose like Portuguese and Spanish. I always wondered if it would be equally easy for a Portuguese person to learn Spanish than a Spanish person to learn Portuguese. It seems straightforward, but at the same time, I don't think it's that easy.
So, I remember reading something about this. So Spanish and Portuguese are sometimes considered to be mutually intelligible, meaning both people can understand each other, even if they're only speaking their own native language. I would argue, though,
I think in writing that is true, because speaking, I think Portuguese people can understand Spanish people easily, but not the other way around.
Right.
That's what I've heard.
So that's what I'm going to say. So they're considered to be mutually intelligible, but it's an asymmetric relationship. Meaning that because Portuguese has more sounds and more vowels and stuff, that when they speak Portuguese, a Spanish speaker has a hard time understanding what they're saying. But because Spanish is simpler in as far as having fewer vowels and fewer phonemes, when a Spanish speaker speaks Spanish, a Portuguese speaker can understand them relatively, easier than it would be the other way around. Is your mate from the UK?
I think he's talking about you, because he knows me. So I'm guessing he knows me.
Right. I was gonna say, well, he lives in the UK.
No, he's from the US.
I'm from the U.S. Yeah. It's funny that he's directing questions to you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're on his channel,
right.
not mine.
When I see you, I imagine that it's directed at me.
Yeah. It's your mate.
I'm not offended. Yeah.
Do you say mate in America?
No.
Like in the US?
Mate is sexual. Mate is someone that you have babies with.
I had to mating with someone. I didn't think about that.
Right. So if I'd say so
mating season, as you say.
Yeah. My native language is Spanish. I can understand written Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm. So my native language is not Spanish, but I have a pretty high level, and I'm the same way. I can read Portuguese pretty easily, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, definitely. For me, like understanding Spanish. I mean, obviously, I learned Spanish anyway, so it's slightly easier. But yeah, it's quite easy to understand. Yeah, like I think that, as you said, like there's fewer sounds in Spanish than there are in Portuguese.
Right. I think that's a big part of the reason why the asymmetry exists, because Spanish has less phonemes and less vowels, and Portuguese has a whole bunch of them. You can map one phoneme in Portuguese, or like 2 or 3 phonemes, onto one phoneme in Spanish. And I don't know any research on the subject. This is just my hypothesis, or my theory. But because you can map certain phonemes, 2 or 3 phonemes in Portuguese, onto one phoneme in Spanish, it's easier for them to understand that. Since I watched a video about intelligibility recently, Aaron, how many languages do you speak? Okay, so
tell us.
Right.
I actually know exactly. I know some of those.
Yeah. So first of all, I have to ask, what does it mean to speak a language? Because
true.
like I can say, I don't know, I could say something in Chinese. I could say ni hao, right? Does that mean I speak it? Like I just spoke it, right? But that's not considered speaking it.
It reminds me, I did like a video about bilingualism, and there was like a spectrum in bilingualism. So like McNamara, I think the name of that guy was, said like if you speak a word in language, then you're bilingual. Others will say if you have a native speaker level, then you're bilingual. So it's like a spectrum. So no one knows what it is. Anyway.
Right, and that's my point. Like, so it's not. There's no point where you just arrive at speaking that language. So it's a hard question to answer. But I'm not going to try to give you the runaround. I speak like more or less 4 languages. English being my native language. I have a really good level in Spanish. I would say maybe intermediate in French. And then I also speak Esperanto. I used to speak rather well, actually, but I've kind of ignored Esperanto for when I started learning French. So it's pretty rough now. And I've also dabbled in several other languages: Romanian, Portuguese, Tokipona, which ironically, because Tokipona. Oh, you've never heard of Tokipona? No. Oh man. So it's another constructed language.
Okay.
Like Esperanto, but it's so simple. Because there's no inflection, there's no gender, there's no plural, there's no tense. It's just designed to be as simple as possible, and there's only like 123 words in the whole language.
Okay.
So I spent 2 weeks studying Tokipona 2 years ago, and I spent another 2 weeks studying it this January. So 4 weeks studying total over a long period of time, and I have not studied whatsoever since January.
Right.
And I'm still able to, like, I follow some Tokipona speakers on Twitter, and I'm able to understand what they're saying. I'm able to follow the conversation. Now, sometimes I need to look up a word here or there, but it's really interesting to spend only 4 weeks learning a language, and you are able to really have a good understanding.
But you said there's 100 and something words in the language.
Yeah.
But how do you express complex ideas?
You don't.
Oh, you don't. Okay, fair enough.
You don't express complex.
People say the Wi-Fi is not working, all that kind of stuff.
You could say that. What you would have to do, you would have to get. So, for example, in Tokipona, there's no word for car.
Okay.
But there's a word for structure.
Okay.
Which tomo, meaning it's like a building.
Okay.
Or a house, or a structure. So instead of saying a car, you would say a moving structure.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. Instead of saying coffee, you would say black water. Or
it's kind of like in like kanji, like Chinese characters, they work like that. They have a concept and they put them together and they have like some kind of meaning, roughly. But.
Right. So I'm not good at Tokipona. I haven't studied it a whole lot, but other people, they get really creative and they actually get very good at communicating with a very small number of words. And I think it's really useful, a skill to learn for learning real languages, right? Like you have to learn how to talk around certain words that you don't know the word for. And it's like it's an exercise. Really, it is. Learning Tokipona is an exercise in learning how to express yourself with words that don't exist in the language that you're speaking.
Right. So to finish in a couple of minutes.
Sure.
There's a message here. So
really quickly. All right. Hungarian sucks in terms of mutual intelligibility. The only closely related languages to ours have less than 1,000 native speakers, and even that is fairly remotely. Yeah. So now, even if there's not a whole bunch of mutual intelligible languages, there's still going to be languages that are closer or further away, which is what we were talking about with French or with Finnish. And do you find French difficult? Yeah. Again, difficult is relative. I found French actually to be quite easy to learn because I already spoke Spanish. And the overlap helps. And there's a lot of overlap between French and English. So, no, like in the grand scheme of things, French is not a difficult language for an English speaker to learn, or a person like myself who speaks Spanish. But still, languages are just in general difficult to learn. So yes, in that sense, French is difficult.
I don't know if you agree, but I feel like for French that starting is difficult because it's like the grammar concepts are weird, like feminine, masculine, then you've got like the prepositions when you don't need them in English, and then I think it gets easier. But then when you get to a higher level, it gets complex again because like you use very complex grammar. So it's a weird one as French. I think.
That's true. And again, I was able to skip that first complex step because I had spoke Spanish. So I was already familiar with grammatical gender and the imperfect tense and all these things.
Okay, one more question maybe, and then we should probably go.
Yep. All right. Do you still play that language card game? I've only played that game a few times. I don't know about that.
What is it about? Can you just remind us?
Yeah. So it's a card game that is all based off of using words in your target language. So like I would play a knight card, and then you have to say a certain word in order to use that card. It's a very interesting concept, and I really like the idea. And I know Matthew, Other Tongue is the name of it. Matt, who created the game, he has several other card games out there that he's released for creating languages, and I support him. I think that's great. I haven't played it a whole lot, just because I don't have a whole lot of people to play it with right now. But yeah, I think it's a great game.
I don't have no one to play with.
Right.
Fair point.
Yeah, because the thing about Other Tongue is you need someone who's a nerd who likes card games, and you also need someone who's learning a foreign language. And those two don't always intersect.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it takes a special kind of person to want to play those really advanced, nerdy card games.
True.
So,
right,
so I think that's
we're gonna
about it.
Stop here. Yeah, gonna have lunch.
All right. Well, thanks for everyone who tuned into my first live stream.
Yeah. And thank you for having me in your live stream on your channel.
Again, this is Kevin from Kevin Abroad. Yeah. So he also does language learning videos. You can check out his channel.
Yeah, if you want to know more, just go on my channel and see if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah, see you guys later.
Bye. Arrêtez la diffusion.